Hello, welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this fun happy birthday card. The inspiration came from a Pinterest pin made by Stamp with Nellie. And basically it is super fun, super easy to do. I've used the happy birthday from the sweet ice cream set. I've got a soft succulent card base, a white cardstock and 5 1/4 by 4. And then I've got the polished pink and white cardstock scraps large enough for 2 of the stitched rectangle dies. And we simply take our daubers, our little finger daubers, and we use the finger daubers to add color to the card. And you can see, look at the difference in the color from when it's just fresh to when it's dried. And we're going to pop these all over randomly and just keep adding color, switching out. If you think you're done, you stop. You're going to be adding other colors in. You can always come back with the color you've already used and fill in. And I thought this was really fun. Her example was Balmy Blue and Highland Heather and Smoky Slate, which are great combinations together. And I was going to do that, and then I thought, well, I think I'd like something just a little bit brighter. Be great for a new baby card or a birthday card for a baby or very young. You can use more sophisticated colors to make it a birthday card for somebody who's a bit older. It's just got so many possibilities, and honestly, it is just so much fun. It is just bright and happy and just jumps out at you. So like I say, I'm just using the finger daubers. You can, if you've got sponges in circles, you can use a sponge in a circle. I have the daubers, so I'm using daubers. Yeah, I had lots of fun with this one. And you can put them in as tight or as loose as you want. I've ended up kind of with a line here. I'm doing these ones closer than I did in the example, but there is no right or wrong way to do this, really. You just keep adding the color where you'd like to have the color. And you can really see the difference in how it is wet and how it is dry. So I'm just going to close up the ink pad there. And I'm going to stamp the greeting. I'm just going to let that set for a bit. I'm going to stamp the greeting. And I always think I've used the polished pink with this because the die is stained with the ink, or the stamp is stained with the ink. But I did the greeting in the soft succulent. I'm just going to stamp it off to make sure I've got good coverage, and I do. So I'm just going to stamp this down. And then we will run it through the cut and emboss machine, and I'm going to use a sticky note just to secure it, to make sure that it is not going to wiggle around once I get this lined up the way I'd like it to be. I had one person comment and ask me why I always put my dies through, or my paper through, on an angle. And really it becomes force of habit. I always put my dies through so there's a pointy end going in first rather than the flat edge, because the flat edge, it's really hard for the wheel to pick up and move over. So I tend to put the pointy end in first. It's easier to feed through the machine. And so it becomes a habit to put my paper on an angle even when I'm not cutting something with a straight edge. It's really funny how you just form habits and that. But yeah, the only reason I put things through on an angle is to protect the roller and make it easier to move it through the machine. So we've got our greeting, and we can move those dies to the side. We can layer this up, and then we dimensionalize it onto the front of the card. So I'll just get our stamp and seal started. And with the stamp and seal, if you kind of roll it over at the end, it should stay ready to go with your next swipe. But sometimes I forget and I just run it off the end. So that's why I have to forward it all the time, is because I don't necessarily finish off correctly. So it needs to be fed through. Okay, so let's just line this one up. Drop it down. Then we dimensionalize the greeting. And just as quick as that, you've got a fun card. All you really need for this one is some ink pads, some finger daubers, which can be washed, by the way. I just washed them in warm soapy water and then let them air dry. And a bit of cardstock and one stamp set, one stamp that has a greeting on it. So then you just center this and make sure it's lined up and drop it down. So there you have a quick, simple, fun happy birthday card using finger daubers and the sweet ice cream stamp set. Thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.